with that as we go into this topic of self-care, just to remind each and every one of you who you are, and to make the first most important thing that you want to do every day is speak into your own life. Speak positivity over yourself as you're going through your day to day things that you're doing. I know that the last year, 2020, even as we're coming into 2021, has been an enormous challenge for many, many people. People have struggled in ways that they cannot imagine. People have lost lives, have lost income, and there's been so much transition that has happened. But what I'm so excited about is your topic tonight, that I got the theme of lifting people up. And that's what I want to talk about, is lifting you up and how to care for yourself during these times. Not just these times, but making it a habit to put yourself first. Oftentimes in life, we tend to put everybody else first, our careers, our families, our friends, and everyone else. And sometimes we get so suffocated that we don't even know that we're not taking care of ourselves until something happens. So I have a few things and a few takeaways that I want to talk about today, as it relates to self-care. And then I'll open it up for any questions that you might have at the end. And the first one, what I want to talk about is taking time for spiritual renewal and mental clarity. I cannot emphasize this enough, that it's so important that every day you take some moments to slow down. Because when you slow down, you clear out all the chaos that has happened and give yourself a moment to reflect and pause and renew. Having spiritual balance helps you deal with everything else that's going on. And some things that you can do, if you're not already doing them, is mindful meditation, breath exercises where you can just stop and just breathe. Sometimes just taking a breath, like, some people it's prayer, some people it's journaling. Just having time of stillness and reflecting is so important to bring centeredness and balance to your life. So having spiritual and mental balance is very, very key to helping you in your self-care journey. The next one is embracing change. One thing that is evident in life is that we're always going to have something changing. And it's not the change itself, it's how we respond to change. And sometimes what happens, it's more difficult for other people because they don't want to embrace that things are changing. They want everything to be the same. But as life goes, things change. And sometimes when you embrace change and look at it as an opportunity, even in transition, and I've been there. A little bit about me, just to give you a highlight to put this in perspective, I was a teenage pregnancy. I had my first child at the age of 16. And then I turned around 4 years later and had a second one, not by the same baby daddy, as they call it, but by another person. And I don't know if they can see me. Can you see me? And that was change. And I had to take time to look at that and make some decisions to make some changes and reflect on what I was going to do with my life. Situations had changed. So I had to take a different attitude and a different thought process to go through those changes. So sometimes change is good. It allows you to take an assessment of your life and look at, okay, where am I? How did I get here? What are some of the decisions I made that started this? Most of all, I'm going to take the opportunity to do things different and understand it can also bring opportunities in change. There's a famous line that says, time and chance happens to us all. So sometimes in your transition, things can open up to you that you didn't even know was possible. And you say, but everything's changed and I don't know how I'm going to get through this. Embrace it. So your attitude is part of getting through that change, because you'll change your mind and your behaviors that will make you more determined and more focused in the direction in which you want to go to in life. Fast forwarding from that, I told you I had two, but I took those situations, those challenges that for me, I caused those things. And obviously coming from a home where we were raised in church and had all these rules and, shame the family name, if you will. And people were, like, how did this happen, and different things. And then I turn around and I graduate at 22 as an RN with 2 kids in tow. So instead of wallowing in what happened and the situation that caused it and my emotions about it, I took that opportunity to embrace the road that I was on to enhance my life. And it just kept going in that direction from then. So embracing change, not so much saying I'm so excited to where I am, but I'm going to use it as motivation that I'm going to do something with the opportunities that's here. Another one is thinking outside the box. Have you ever thought, or either have you ever been with anybody, or maybe even yourself, where you're doing the same thing over and over again? Same thing over and over again. Well, we've always did it this way, or I've always done it this way, or it can only be this way. Sometimes thinking outside the box will bring creativity or bring you into new opportunities. Those of you that are on here tonight, you may have things that you've been thinking about doing as it relates to self-care and taking care of yourself and feeling good. And you may have always thought it only was going to come this way. But maybe those very same goals that you have can be manifested by doing something different, thinking outside the box. When I started my podcast, I have been in nursing. This year is 29 years as a registered nurse. And I had been doing the hospital. I have done all types of nursing roles. And when it came to podcasting, to bring this message, to motivate people and elevate people and inspire them to be their best version, I never imagined doing a podcast. Never did. Although I was speaking to people every day, but thinking outside the box, doing something different. So don't be afraid to try something that you've never tried before and get out of your comfort zone. You may have some challenges. Everything may not be perfect, but keep going. Another one, recognizing and eliminating personal negativity. I have a saying I call stinking thinking, where oftentimes we are our worst critics. We allow the opinions of others sometimes, or even our own weaknesses and shortcomings to overwhelm us, or we take on those labels and identities, and it brings anxiety, stress, and frustration, or we say things about ourselves that we shouldn't even speak on ourselves. We call ourselves sometimes, different names within ourselves, that I can't do that. I don't have the skill for that. And we don't speak positivity within us, or we think I can't get out of this. So our attitude affects our altitude. That's why I started this off with I am, putting a positive affirmation on it. I am this. I am that. What is your I am? Every day, you want to get up with an affirmation that speaks life into yourself. Because life and death is in the power of your tongue. How you perceive yourself and how you feel about yourself will exude that on the outside. So always, despite everything that's going on, and I know it's a lot, and I know it can be hard sometimes, but affirm you, I am coming out of this. I'm a conqueror. I'm whatever that is you want to say, but speak life and positivity over yourself. When you see yourself in the mirror, always see yourself going forward, even if you are in a transitional state, because you have to have the vision before you get there. You have to have the vision. Nurse, I graduated, I told you, at 22 years old. And this is a true story. 22 years old with 2 children, no husband, me raising 2 children by 2 different fathers. And I was working at LAC USC Medical Center at the time as a nurse, fairly new nurse, if you will, at 22, still a novice, what you would call inexperienced. And we used to have this incline hill that we would have to walk up after we parked our cars or we caught our bus, because I used to catch the bus before I was able to get a car. And we would walk up, and every day I would say to myself, one day I'm going to be a director of nursing. Now, mind you, I just graduated, but in my mind, I was already visioning what I want to become. So as part of your self-care and taking care of yourself and feeling good about yourself is having a vision of not only where you are or what it is you want to become. And if you can't hold it here, write it somewhere. Put it down on paper. Put it in a journal. We have a Living Your Life Without Limits wellness journal. Write your thoughts down. What it is you want to become. And the more I said that, before I was 30 years old, I was a director of nursing at a different organization. Because my mind was already speaking it, but I had to go through different things to get there. So put away negative thinking, or as I called it, stinking thinking, and begin to affirm yourself daily, and not just yourself. Your children or whoever is in your life, even if you don't see the direction that they're going in, affirm your household of what you want to happen. And it's not, you may have to go through some transition and some curves to get there, but guess what? As you continue to put the work in and persevere and speak that, it will manifest. So the next one, staying persistent. Stay the course. Be consistent in your vision for yourself. Be consistent in taking care of yourself. Be consistent in the direction in which you want to go in. I often meet people all the time, and I say, so what career path you want to go? Well, some people will say, I started school, but you know what? I got out of it. Some people will say, I want to do this or I want to do that. And it went away. I don't know if they can see me. Okay. And they drop out, or they start and they stop. And I know it's hard. I know it's hard. It was hard for me. And even as I went further for my graduate degree, my undergraduate degree, and just life in general, be persistent, stay the course. If you set a goal for yourself of something you want to accomplish, whether it be in self-care, and you know what, I'm going to take this nice bubble bath every week, or I'm going to love on myself and do a facial, or I'm just going to take time and read or do something for me, or I'm going to go to school, or I'm going to learn a skill, or I'm going to go to the gym, whatever it might be that you have for yourself, be it in your personal life or professional growth or just elevating yourself, be persistent. I call it stubbornness with a purpose. When you are persistent, you're stubborn with a purpose. In other words, you're going to continue in it until you reach and accomplish what you want to accomplish in that thing. That's why I call it stubbornness with a purpose. That's my definition of persistence. Keep your attention on your long-term plan. First of all, have a plan. You want to have a plan for how you're going to go about your life. You want to set a plan for your day. That's why I like journaling. In this book of journaling, we call it a wellness journal. And in this wellness journal, there's not only just a message here, but it's this journal that I created. It says the journal was created with you in mind, with the intention of helping you create daily wellness goals that will assist you to live your life without limits. And in this journal, there's nutritional goals about healthy eating, along with things to avoid or reduce dietary limitations, physical activity. I call it physical activity instead of exercise because there's other things you can do to give you physical activity that may not be considered exercise, but it gets you moving. But one area in particular that lines up with what we're talking about, practicing self-care, making yourself a priority. Everything good in life stems from our self-care. When you love yourself, other aspects of your life fall into place naturally so. And this is so true. And on the book itself, see, I got pages filled out in mine. In this wellness book is daily planning that you can use to set a plan for that day. And one of the things it asks you is, first, what are you grateful for today? Because despite everything that's going on, we have something we can be grateful for. And when we have that attitude of gratitude, it puts things in perspective for us. But right underneath it, it says, what is your self-care goal for today? Challenging each and every one of us to create a self-care goal every day. Something to take care of for you, not for the children, not for the husband, not for the job, not for the friends, but something that you set aside some time and do something that is for you, that will uplift you, that will motivate you, that will revive you, renew you, or just give you relaxation. Make it a habit of putting you first. I can talk about that all day long. You see me now, I used to be almost 400 pounds because I would be running and doing and working and working and doing. And after I get off work, taking care of this one, taking care of that one, doing this, doing that, working all these hours on call and doing all these things, running hospitals and taking care of everyone and then coming home. And then all I was doing was just, I'm too tired to do anything for me. I'm too tired to do anything for me, until I had that aha moment and said, if I don't start taking care of me, there will be no me. So I'm not speaking from what I just writing, I'm speaking from experience as well. And when you start taking care of yourself, you could even give out more, because you are whole and you are balanced. So when you speak out and you inspire and uplift or helped other people, you're coming from a place where you are already healthy and whole because you have taken time to take care of yourself. So, prioritizing your day according to what's most important. Does everybody got the list when you get up in the morning and you got 100 things that you got to do and there's only so many hours in the day to do it? And you're like, I got all this stuff to do. And it can sometimes be overwhelming. It can sometimes be stressful. Or if it's not that day, just figuring out so much is going on. I got all these things I have to take care of. It can be very exhausting and create anxiety. Prioritize. Start back to taking a breath, taking a moment. Okay, what has to be done now that I have to do? Versus what can I delegate to somebody else to do? Or what is it that can wait to be done? Because sometimes we become racy. Everybody's just moving today, moving around the world, just moving, just busy. Accidents are happening. People are getting sick or just anxiety, and people are biting because they're so upset and frustrated. They haven't had time to focus and bring clarity because we're just going and just running. We got to stop, pause, and sometimes look at it and say, okay, I can only do ABC. What's important that I have to get done today? And set some goals so that you don't become so overwhelmed that it becomes mental and physical stress to yourself. So the final thought, which is I've been intertwining this through all of what we've been saying, the most important thing is practicing self-care. We've been talking about it, but actually doing something to take care of yourself daily. And it doesn't have to be anything so extravagant. Something that brings pleasure to you. And sometimes it's simple things that you can do. And it's going to be different for every individual, but just finding a moment that you take time and being consistent to love on yourself. Not only through speaking affirmation and speaking positivity over your life, but taking some time to just care for yourself. And it will make you feel so much better in the midst of everything. I can tell you that these things that I'm telling to you, when I miss taking care of myself for any moment or something, I have to say, I got to go back because I can feel the difference. I know the difference if I'm not practicing daily self-care, how it affects me and how I'm not as clear and I'm not as engaging because it's too much. And I have to back and learn the power of no. Yes. Not in a nasty way, but in a way where you don't allow everyone else's needs become so much demanding that you don't have time for you. Sometimes you have to say, I'm just not available now, or give me a moment, or I can't do it today. Maybe I can do it another day. I want to do it, I desire it, but I just don't have time to do it. Learning the power of no can be very liberating. And you don't have to be offensive with it. You don't have to be rude or abrasive. Just, it's too much today. I can't do it today, or I can't do it that day because I have so many other things going on. So those are some key nuggets that I want to leave with you today, how it is so important that you take care of yourself. We saw how this pandemic went through the world and wiped out so many people. Many people fell through death. Others were chronically ill. And what we did recognize in learning this is that people with pre-existing medical conditions were at the high risk end of things, that were subject to being the ones that would either, when they get COVID-19, would suffer from it in a more severe way, or most of them were those that had passed. And it all stems from being preventative and understanding it's important to take care of ourselves, not only from a physical aspect, but mentally take care of ourselves. So many people have been suffering through depression and anxiety and stress, wondering, how am I going to get out of this? What's going to happen? And that's why you have to have that spiritual balance, that when the road gets a little curvy and things are not going the way you want them, you have an assurance to know that it's not going to stay this way. If I stay the course, if I trust, and I also believe in my own ability, things are going to change. But taking action, so all these things that we talked about, from taking time, from spiritual renewal to mental clarity, to embracing change, to thinking outside the box, recognizing and eliminating personal negativity, staying persistent, keeping your attention on your long-term plan, what you have for yourself and your family, prioritizing your day, and practicing self-care only will work if you put it into action. Actions speak louder than words. Don't let it just be an emptiness. Take action on those things and watch and see results will come. If it came for me, it will absolutely come for you. I want to open it up to any questions that anybody might have or any thoughts as we are going through those talking points right now. I want to be able to open up this time now. Anybody hear me? Lisa, anybody? Hello? Oh, okay. Any questions anybody have for me? I hope I said something to uplift the people, uplift you. I am with you. I understand, but I know there are better days ahead for you. You're not going to remain where you are. There is a future for you.
Very inspiring.
You have a destiny. You have a purpose. Hello?
Very inspiring.
Oh, thank you. Any other questions anybody might have? But that was what I prepared for everyone today. I just want everyone to understand there are better days ahead.
Can you tell us a little more about your podcast?
And you can make it. Yes. So the title of my podcast is called Living Your Life Without Limits. Okay. And I came up with this title, as I told you, it was my aha moment. I used to work in an organization. I was an executive and I was making a whole lot of money, but the money was good, but I was dying in the process. When I'm saying dying in the process, I told you I was up for almost 400 pounds. And I had no quality of life. I was working sometimes 16, 18 hours a day. And it was just so much going on. I was missing a lot of family things and just coming home and just doing. And I had this aha moment. And I said, you know what? I have skill. I have talent. I'm going to step out and start my own business. Yes, I did that. I did that because I had been in executive roles and it's, you know, I had a lot of experience in training, and there comes Living Your Life Without Limits. So it's a motivational podcast. It's a life coaching platform where I do life coaching. I do motivational speaking. We do health and wellness to communities and individuals. And each week I bring information. I call it education, motivation, and elevation to the people. And we talk about various different topics on there, but it's called Living Your Life Without Limits. I think Barry is putting it on, my editor is putting it on now. Actually, you want to, real quickly, you want to show him the clip a little bit or something, the music? Okay, he's going to show you the channel. So you can find us on YouTube. It's Living Your Life Without Limits. That's me. That's me with my long hair. So I wear it long and I wear it short, but I bought it. I like it both ways. So if you wonder who is that, that's me too.
Love it.
But as they say, if I bought it, it's mine. I like the versatility in the hair. So I braid my hair underneath. So anyway, but yeah, so it's Living Your Life Without Limits. And we have our own theme song. It's pretty slick theme song. If you get a chance to follow here. Huh?
That's awesome.
Yes, it is. Yeah, it's really slick. It's got its own theme song. It's a pretty catchy tune. Are we able to play a little bit of it, Barry?
Can you put
Yeah,
the slide
just if you guys will indulge us, we'll just play a little bit of the theme song real quickly, and then any other questions you might have. But yeah, we're on YouTube. We have a Facebook, Instagram page, and obviously our website. On my website, I have free resource. I have mindful meditation videos, audio on there. So if you go to my website at Living Your Life Without Limits and you click the free resources, there's blogs, there's educational videos, and there's
Without Limits family. This is your girl.
Mindful meditation audios there that can walk you through mindful exercises so that you can just, as I told you, calm down and slow down. They're free, so you can get them at any time. There's the thing.
Let's elevate your mind. Live your life without limits. No more wasting time. Don't forget to stay focused while continuing to stay on the grind. Keep your vision real tight, and your future be bright until the finish line.
So there it is. That's it. Living Your Life Without Limits. That's the podcast. So
thank you so much, Shannon.
Oh, my honor. Any other questions anybody have?
What's your take on, because I remember you were mentioning something about knowing your limitations in that podcast that I was suggesting. How would you advise somebody to, learn their limits?
Exactly. So you have to recognize within yourself where your limitations are. And I'm not talking about limitations in terms of skill. We often know that part, right? We know if I can't do this, I can't do that, and I need to acquire skills to do that. What we're often honest about is our limitation of when we've taken on too much. So when you're starting to feel stressed, grumpy, lack of sleep, sluggish, overwhelmed, those are all signs of saying, you know what? I'm at my limit. And what you want to do is not get to there. You want to try to prevent from getting there by understanding, look, I got A, B, and C things going on. That's why I talked about setting priorities so that you can prevent, hopefully, from getting to where you're overwhelmed. So understanding I'm one person, I can't do it all. So if I know that the task today is 10 things and 20 people are asking for me, I got to know within myself, I don't have enough time to do it all. And it's okay, like I said, learning the power of no and being authentic to say, you know what, I can't do it all right now. What can we do? But I know physically and emotionally, it's too much for me to carry. It is very liberating when you can recognize your triggers. So recognize your triggers. And each and every one of us have triggers. We may not know that they're triggers, but we know when somebody is on our nerves, are we doing a little bit too much? Are they doing a little bit too much, pushing me too much? And it affects our mood. So if you're finding your mood and your attitude or your energy going the wrong way, you are pushing your limitations. So you want to reverse that. Did that help answer that?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much for that.
Because every last one of us have a trigger. But oftentimes we don't want to admit that, or we don't want to confess that, because we want to take in everybody. We want to, nobody to be upset, but then it affects us, and then we're unhealthy, or we're internalized. And then sometimes we blow and go, somebody say, what happened? What happened to so-and-so? And then it's, everything. And you know what's so funny about that? Somebody who was really not the issue can come around. It was almost like the last block that did it for the day. And then that's when you feel guilty. Like, you know what? I'm sorry. It really wasn't you. It was so many other things going on. So preventing that, knowing your triggers, knowing when you're already getting there, that's when you got to say, okay, you know what? Have a conversation, whether it's with your boss, whether it's with the family, even within yourself. Okay, I can't do all of this. Rome was not built in a day. And as much as I love the song, I'm not your superwoman. Guess what? We're not. We try to be. We try to be not only superwomen, we try to be superhumans, where we want to take on everything, but it also can have a negative effect on us. So we want to take on what we know we can handle and still have that balance and have that time for ourselves. It is so important. If you don't remember anything else I've said tonight, it's important for you to recognize self-care.
Someone asked, where can we hear it on Spotify?
Oh, we do. We have Spotify. We do. So if you follow, let me pull it up on my phone here. I'm actually I'm on iTunes and Spotify. So hold on one second. So yeah, all our recordings from our podcast are not only on YouTube, but they are on iTunes and Spotify. And Lisa, I'll also have Tanny send you those links for anyone who may be interested, but let me give it to you now to tell you where we are for the person that asked that question. Let me find it in here. Where is it? Okay. Spotify, it's openspotify.com. It's all these little codes there. It's a lot of codes on here, but yes, we are on there. I think if you put Living Your Life Without Limits on there, you can go right to us. But what I will do, Lisa, I will make sure you get the list for whoever would like to follow us on iTunes or Spotify, because everything we have on video, it's also on iTunes and Spotify.
Okay,
but
excellent.
Huh?
Excellent.
Yeah, we'll make sure you guys get that information. But I think if you put Living Your Life Without Limits in, it may just show up as well, but we will. If you Google, I'm on Google, you Google me, it'll come up somewhere too.
I've Googled you, I've YouTubed you, I've watched a few of your podcasts, and I'm really, really into it. So thank you so much for coming on tonight.
So much. Thank you so much. I love motivating and lifting people up. This was just my jam, because I know how it feels. I've walked in many shoes, whereas I told you I was very transparent about my own and having struggles and challenges, but I also know you can overcome. Sometimes you need just a little push. You need somebody to speak into your life. You need somebody to speak to you and tell you you are going to make it and mean it and support you and champion you. And that's what I wanted to leave today. So.
Another question I had, I did see that you do like one-on-one classes or coaching.
Absolutely.
Can you tell us a little bit about that, or how we can access those services?
So what we do is typically they're very customized, because everybody wants something a little bit different. So on our website, which is Living Your Life Without Limits, there's a questionnaire thing where you fill out, there's a section where it says if you want a, actually, Barry, you want to go to that screen real quick? If you want a class or coach, it's like a pre-questionnaire. And what happens is you fill that out and it comes to us via email, and we'll schedule a free 15-minute consultation to see what it is that you need so that we could see how we can develop a plan for you. Because everyone's plan is different. So it starts with filling out that questionnaire and gives us a little insight on what you want, whether it's something individual or what you're looking for. And then that email comes out, and then you'll get a calendar through the email to pick a date and a time to schedule that first 15-minute questionnaire. So on this site, so this is the website for us. And on the website, it talks about programs or services on there. Okay, he's going to share the screen so we can show you how to do it. And then you fill that out. And then the first one is a 15-minute free, so we can look at it and see. So under there, it's about programs. You see that program one, and it opens up. It's what we do. Yeah,
Online
the top.
programs.
I have to move that.
Okay, you move it there, and then it goes on, and then there's that questionnaire piece that you fill out. That's the wellness, that's the program itself. I want the other one that's the Revive. There's another one on there, talk about services. I think it may says programs and services. Okay, there they are. So you fill one of those out, where if you wanted individual coaching, you wanted to know more, and there's a little questionnaire piece. Or if you don't even, you see that where it says click there? There it is. You see that red button? That's the one that you would fill out. And it'll come to us, and then we'll get an email, and it asks you, do you want, and you have the box, do you want this, do you want that, a little bit, and then the email will come with a calendar of dates you can pick. And then when you pick that date, you'll get a confirmation, because what we do when you get that date, we have open dates that you can choose from. And then there's a free consultation that we offer. Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you so much
another
again.
thing that we could do, that I'd be happy to do for your organization is maybe at another time do like a career assessment form where we have people, I'll send an email out to some of your people and give them a free career assessment form where they can fill that out, and it'll give them what career opportunities that they may be good for. And then later we can talk about those.
That's actually a very good idea. Thank you so much.
Yeah,
All
I
right.
can offer that as well. So that's another thing that I would offer to you and
Okay.
your organization. So that's another little piece because I want people to have help. And sometimes you don't know what you're good at, so doing a assessment form as it relates to career or personality. I have both. Interesting enough, I will tell you the test that I use, it's pretty spot on. I took it myself. And when I tell you, when it read me, it was spot on for me. It was spot on for me. And I was like, wow, this really is me. It's really me. This is me. This one works. So I said, I'm going to adopt this. So I'd be happy to offer that
Okay.
to some of your people that may be interested if they're like not sure what they want to do. The key is being honest. Because if you're not honest with it, you're not going to get what you put in it is what you get out of it, right?
Right.
So if you're honest with it, it'll calculate the information for it. It's scientifically based. It's been psychologists and different ones created this test. So if you're honest with it, it will give you some real helpful information that will at least, if a person is at a crossroad or are not sure where they want to go, I always say, do an assessment test. Let's see what's in you that may be gravitating to you, but you just got to be honest with it. That's the only thing I always tell people: be authentic, be honest.
All right. Well, thank you very much again for being our guest speaker tonight. And we hope to see you soon.
Thank you so much, Ms. Lisa, for having me. It's been my honor, and all those that have been on the line. I hope I said something to elevate, inspire you to live your life without limits. God bless you all.
God bless you too. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful night.
You too. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.